All right, everyone. I'm here with Louie. We're doing another podcast on the A Colourful Life series. Don't know what episode this is, but we'll work it out and put it in the show notes. So everyone, a big round of applause and welcome to Louie.
I got no business being here and I'm super nervous. And even, I was even saying, when I walked in, like, just being in this space, it's we can swear, right?
Yeah, cool.
It's fucked, man. Like, it's not only the best tattoo shop that I've seen, but it's like the best fucking space I've ever seen. It's out of control, man. To be talking to you, thank you. Yeah, stoked.
No, mate, like, you've got every point, every reason to be here.
Man.
Like, I know, like I get it. Like, when I was younger, talking to older people, all the rest, all the same thing. But like, from where I stand, you know, you might see me a little bit here, but we're equal. Like, tattooing's equal now.
If you say that, then sure.
we spoke about the conventions and stuff in the podcast you did. So we met through the Blunt magazine, the podcast you did during was it the first or second lockdown?
I don't know, because I was in Bayman's Bay, so our lockdowns didn't coincide with the Sydney ones. In fact, we were pretty sweet, to be honest, for a lot of the time.
And coincidentally, at the shop you were working in was called
Free Spirit Tattoo.
Living the COVID dream.
Did I not think about that for a second?
living the anti-lockdown dream.
Yeah.
So it's good. So all right, let's go back a little bit to the beginning of time.
Totally.
You know, when Jesus was still in the manger and all that sort of stuff. So your first memories of tattooing.
Yeah. So I'm glad we skipped the boring stuff, because I had a pretty normal childhood. So my first memory of actually tattooing, of tattoos that I saw, it's kind of, it would have been like 6 or 7. And I saw this dude that just was covered. And obviously you don't know anything about it. I thought it was kind of just like, as you get older, they just appear if you're cool enough.
If you're lucky.
Like, obviously you got no idea what's going on. But it wasn't until like probably 18 years old, 18, 19, I went to a music college called JMC Academy around the corner.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, in a previous life. And I met this dude, and he was my age, but he had a full sleeve already. I'm like,
sick.
How do you have a full, aren't you just able to get tattooed? It doesn't even make sense. And so then it was just like, fucking floodgates open. If he can do it, I can do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're a Sydney boy?
Yep, Sydney, for the most part.
What did you do? So you were obviously on a trajectory to become a musician,
Yeah.
or something in the music line.
Playing this as a musician.
No, more often than not, that's what happens, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, same as in the art field as well. Hey, I'm going to be an artist. You know, and not always do these creative dreams come true.
Yeah.
But luckily for you, the better creative dream came true.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
So how did that start?
Yeah. So, I dedicated, so I'm 35, right?
Yep. You look 25.
Thank you. I probably act 25 as well, but my back feels fucking 50, that's for sure. But no, I spent probably like literally age 15 to probably 27.
Yep.
Dedicating my life on music.
What?
So it was basically rock music, but I was a session bass player actually for a while. So yeah, did the touring and stuff like that, and recorded overseas, all that sort of stuff. And so as like an early 20-year-old, you're like, yeah, fuck, this is mad. I'm going to make it. This is it. Boom.
Yep.
When it doesn't, it's like, fuck, I'm 27 with a kid now.
Wow.
Fuck am I going to do? I've got literally one other skill, and it's drawing.
Yep.
So how the fuck can I make money off this?
Yep.
And that's how it all...
Before then, you'd started getting tattoos? Who did you...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay. So I got some pretty cool people that have tattooed me. One of the most notable, you know, Dan Danker from Corpus?
Yep.
He did this little claw machine. Yeah, it was at a convention.
Amazing.
I got, you know, Jacob from Rosie's, Daniel from Rosie's.
Who did your first tattoo?
My first... Okay, all right. So it's this one here. I don't know if... yeah, we're back. It's a spade. There's a spade here. I was 18.
Motorhead fan?
Not even. I am now, but I wasn't at the time. It was Luke from Sleeve Masters.
Oh,
if
there you go.
You know that guy? He goes by Frogging. Yeah.
Yep.
So I was 18 at the time, and but I don't remember.
Cross was still the cross?
Yeah, I still had like a year or two of the cross.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was sick. And Sleeve Masters, I don't remember getting it. I remember the touch-up because...
You and about a million other people.
Yeah. And... it's funny because I feel like I'm talking too much, but Reese Mobs,
Yep.
you know, who I bought an artwork off him, being like,
Yep.
you know, chatting to him for the last few years, and he's like, man, come and like do some guest files. I'm like,
Awesome.
fuck, like how it's gone full circle.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sleeve Master's going through like a full resurgence right now. It's so good. Like, you know, our Jimmy and our manager was wearing a Sleeve Master t-shirt the other day. Jimmy's wearing it today. Like, the merch is next level. You know, Reese, Max, the crew there, like Burgers, they're really kicking it back into gear, and there's a big resurgence on it. It's amazing to see.
Yeah. Yeah, and I stoked. So at some point I'll do a guest spot there just to,
Yep.
even if I don't tattoo, just to fucking be in there.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, mate. The hallowed walls, mate. It's the holy grail of King's Cross tattooing.
yeah. But, yeah, look, in terms of, sorry, to get back to your question, I think I went off on a tangent, but how I actually got into tattooing, and people are going to fucking hate this, but I'll say it anyway.
No.
I was watching all sorts of stuff. I was watching Ink Master. I loved it. I was watching fucking...
On the Miami Ink generation.
Miami Ink. Like I said, I know you from Bondi Ink back in the day. I got tattooed on a show called Tattoo Tales in Bondi Ink.
Who did it?
Moses. No, hang on. Moses tattooed my missus. Crash. Remember that? Crash? Yeah, so he did that Buddha there.
Sick.
Yeah.
And hey, I love a Buddha too. I
didn't even mention that. That's Brett Cohen.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I had $400. I went in there. I'm like, I got $400.
I'm sure you bonded with Brett over music.
Yeah. And then just like, I think I was too scared. Like, you know, I'm like, oh, it's Brett Cohen. Shut the fuck up. But that was before I was tattooing. But I still was like heaps into it, and still, I knew who you were, knew who Tony was. Like, I had that big book that Tony has with the red thing on it, and
Awesome.
Yeah. So I've been into it forever, pretty much.
Yeah, amazing. And then, all right, so then apprenticeship. How did this happen?
All right, so I don't want to mention any names of any shops or anything like that, but I'm from the same. I started at the same shop as your previous guest, Dylan. He's still one of my tattooed brothers, essentially. I call him. Started within a week of each other. And you know, you can, like, people can go back and listen to that episode, but essentially it's kind of, when we came in, it was almost an apprentice. It was pretty much just a lot of apprentices, and
is what it is.
Yeah, and I'll say this, is that I know a lot of people, and I don't know if we need to keep this in here or whatever, but I'm happy to, is that a lot of people that did leave, I believe they left on disrespectful terms. Hence the reason why a lot of people don't get along with this guy. But I was the opposite. You know, I feel like the right way. I left town, but I was going to do that.
Yeah, of course. Like, you have to do what's right for you. Like, I've worked in so many shops over the years, and I'm proud of those same things. Like, I've left on good terms, even if sometimes you don't like the person you're working for. It was your choice to stay there. So, as a man, or whatever you want to identify as a human being, you treat people well, you treat the situation well, because life's long. And you're going to bump cross roads again with these people.
Need to cross those bridges later on.
So it's better to just be a decent human. You know,
totally.
Your choice to take the job, and your choice to stay there. No point being a little bitch and whining, which is a big part of the industry now. And people won't even have the balls or the morals to maybe confront or talk to another staff member or even the owner of the shop and say, hey, man, it's not working out for me. They'll just quit by text message or fuck off in the middle of the night. Shows more about your character than the other one. So well done.
Man, done. I could be the only person that's still friends with him, but I have heaps of respect for him. He gave me my start when no one else would, you know. Did I deserve it at the time? No, I was shit, you know.
But it doesn't matter. They saw something in you that maybe you didn't see in yourself.
So I was there for probably 2 years, and there was, it was just sort of 5 or 6 of us at any given time. You know, people come and go. 5 or 6 of us at any given time that just didn't know what we were doing, and try and figure stuff out as we go. And you know, hopefully none of my old clients listen to this, but
mate, and if they do, you're a great guy. You give them a good experience.
And from there, I kind of, you know, I was still working another job as well at JB Hi-Fi. I don't know if we can say that. At an electronic retailer.
Of course.
And just sucking dick for 5 years, you know, like just like not getting anywhere. And so I was like, if I actually want to be a tattooer, not just some part-time guy that hopefully gets a few tattoos here and there, I've got to change my situation. You know, and I was always like, I would never stay in Sydney and leave that shop and go to another shop just because personally, like, this guy gave me my start.
And that's kind of the way tattooing was at that time.
Personally, I think that's how it should be, because I think, and I don't know because I don't own a shop, I never have, and, you know, whatever, but I just see the stresses that shop owners that I've worked for go through, like the turnover of staff, and then, you know, one bad person infects the whole fucking thing, and just like all this little shit.
For sure. And mate, as a shop owner now, like I'm 33 years deep tattooing. I've only had a shop for 10 plus years, you know, so I get it. And, you know, so 10 years I've learned so much. The last 2 years I've learned more about running the business than the last 10 years. And there can be a little bit of a culture now of hooray for me and fuck you.
Yeah, big time.
Which doesn't really work out in the long run.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I guess what I was sort of getting at was like, fuck, like these people give you your start and they teach you and they invest your time and effort and all this kind of stuff. But then, like, if they're any kind of sookie when you leave after 2 or 3 years, oh, you're a dickhead, you're a dog, you're a cunt, fucking, you don't own me. Hang on, what the fuck? Like, I just gave you everything. And then, like, but what can I fucking do about it? Nothing, right? Like, I guess you can fuck off. And if I try and do anything about it, I'm a dog. Sweet, see you. You know, like
what I kind of say here is I hope for a couple of things. You go and do your own shop. You go somewhere better or somewhere equal, or you get a better deal somewhere else. You know, just recently, I won't say who, but I'm one of the guys that's been here for quite a few years is going to go on and do his own shop. And I went, man, hats off to you. I'm so happy. Like, a lot of other people...
shit, though. Like, I know it's not, but...
From my point of view, it's not. The reason being, they've been working for quite a long time in the industry. They've worked here for quite a long time. They had the respect to come and tell me what they're doing. This is what happens in life.
Yeah.
You got my blessing. Not that you need it, but I respect the fact that you did it through the proper channels. And I said, any help you need, I'm here.
I understand that, and that's awesome that you are able to think that way. I guess the way that I would maybe approach it is like, fuck, Reese, I've worked for you for 5 years. I really want to do something. Can you help me? And we both get in on and, you know, branch off, and like I can just give you some extra.
Even if someone said that, I'd say no.
Yeah, okay.
Because I've got enough on my plate.
Yeah, true.
You know, I've been partners in another shop before, and you know, this is an animal in its own. To me anyway, personally, you know, like one of my good friends, Todd Bailey, him and his wife, they've got 3 shops. Hats off to him. Todd tattoos 5 days a week, travels an hour and a half and back to work. They've got 2 kids. They're a powerhouse. I don't have that energy. So my energy is better off used doing things like this. Here, Australian Tattoo History, than trying to get in a partner in another shop.
I guess, like, I would give you the opportunity to be involved. You know, I feel like that would be a respectful way. You know, and I guess I'm a bit like, I'm probably older than I look, but I do have a bit of an old school mentality. Because when I was coming into tattooing,
it's good.
I really was like, I'm not just going to come in here and not know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm going to research every single fucking thing, so I don't look like a dickhead when I go into a shop with my portfolio. And,
Well, that's the respect and love of tattooing.
Yeah, so like I was talking about old school values, and
it's bait, and that's why you're here today, and that's why who you are. So get us to where this post-apprenticeship started.
Okay, cool. So when people ask like how long you been tattooing, it's always a hard question because I don't know when I started or when I did my first tattoo or So essentially, all those years at that shop, I was tattooing, but like I didn't know what I was doing, kind of thing. And to the point where when I went to we moved away to Bateman's Bay. Long boring story, but we moved to Bateman's Bay.
For the job?
For the job, essentially. But we'd had a holiday house there. It just so happened that the guy that ran the shop was, in my opinion, the best tattooer in the world. His name's Mitch Goldsborough. Shout out. But yeah, that was its own separate thing. But when I got there, I thought I was all right. You know, I was like, oh, okay, this is some South Coast shop. Like, they're probably pretty shit. You know?
Breezy. I'm gonna like own this town.
Maybe not to that extent, but like, got there. I thought I'd be fine, and it really was a huge wake up call. He was like, without saying just shit, it was basically like, look, that's wrong. I don't know who taught you that. I want you you're not even setting up right. You're fucking, you know, this and that and that. And it was humbling and it was shit. It sucked.
Did he, sounds like he must have had a nice way of...
Oh yeah, absolutely. Super articulate dude.
Because it's awkward. It's difficult to say it to someone, and I know some apprentices get pissed off at their mentor because maybe the mentor's not a good communicator, and maybe the apprentice can't communicate either, so they just button heads. So this is,
So you shut the fuck up, and that's your mentor, so shut the fuck up.
you know, in the world we live in these days, it's not that simple. But I'm glad it was then.
Yeah, well, yeah, and even
And
still,
you
like,
the reward.
yeah, 10 years later, I'll still do everything that this guy says.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's just down to the way he operates, deals with customers. This guy is just the best. Anyway, no, oh yeah, they tore me to pieces.
Yeah.
So from then, I literally took every single tattoo I could. For the next 3 or 4 years, to the point where I was working 6-7 days a week.
Yeah.
Anyone that knows me can tell, like knows I'm telling the truth. Like, I'd be there 8, 10, 12, 15 hours a day.
Young family.
Yeah, and bringing up a young family. So at this point, I've got 2 kids now.
Yep.
Still with the same missus, and
Yep.
I might add, she's like, none of this would be possible without her.
Yeah,
She literally does everything for me. Beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, like it was that sort of 4-year period where I was just beaten down and then just like came out, you know, like a fucking phoenix, man. Like, it was kind of just like
Amazing.
yeah, and like, you know, I never done a sternum fine line fucking thing. I never done like, you know, all sorts of situations I'd not been in, and then it's just deep end. No, you're in.
So crazy. South Coast, did that place fluctuate in the holidays? Like double, triple in size? Like,
No. Oh, no. Okay. So, sorry, I don't know if I'm yelling.
You're right.
The population, yeah. But tattoo-wise, there's 3 of us, and we're all booked out forever. And it's not like, I'll say this, anyone that wants to needs to get money, go to Batemans Bay, go work in Free Spirit, or go to any of those little regional towns, because there's no shops around. And you don't even necessarily have to be that good, but like the volume. Exactly. You know, we were the last shop before Victoria, but there was still like 12 hours or, you know, 10 hours before that. So people are coming up, and it was just like literally the best.
numbers of people to drive 2, 3, 4 hours to come and get a tattoo.
If I didn't want to move back from Sydney, and it was just Batemans Bay was a bit small for me, I would still be at that shop, loving that shop, loving those guys. Like, and back to what I was saying before, I feel fucking guilty for leaving them, because they really, like, above and beyond, like, helped out personally and all that sort of stuff.
How long were you there altogether?
3 or 4 years. Maybe there was 6 or 7 months of no tattooing during COVID.
Yeah. It's a good stint, mate. That, like, these days, you know, that's a long haul in this industry. You know, some people are doing 6 months a year, here, and off they go.
Yeah. I guess, like, in that situation, like, I was like, you know, I even bought a house down there. So I was like, well, like, I'm here forever. I'm here for 20 years. You know, locked in, blah, blah.
Yeah.
A few things happened, changed of thought, and then it was kind of everything I'd said. It was like, oh, actually, I was all kind of shit now. And it was like, oh, but no, that was sweet about it.
Yeah.
Wish me the best. Like, still good friends.
Of course, like what I know, most shop owners should know, will know that the only thing that's going to stay the same in a shop is the owner, unless they sell it. Staff are going to come and go, and we want them to be here forever. And sometimes it's like losing a son or a daughter, but that's okay. If you know, like, I'm sure they're incredibly proud of you of what you've done.
Yeah.
So in all of that time, like, did you start to develop a style or lean towards one? Or
not until pretty much this year, to be honest. Yeah, but because the nature of being at that shop was that it was a tourist town and you had to do literally everything, I pretty much did literally everything.
Yeah.
And even to the point where, like, the guys that own the shop, that was their apprenticeship, you know, and that's how they'd been trained. It's like, oh, you're a fucking craftsman, you're a tattooer. Like, whatever someone wants that's your job to do a clean tattoo. Like, and obviously, you know, goes beyond and then customization, whatever. But yeah, and so I started to do every style, and it wasn't until this year, actually, right? So we moved to Newcastle.
Yep.
Long, boring story again, but we moved to Newcastle. I'm at a shop called Dark Forge with a guy called Matty Scribes as the owner.
Yeah.
Fucking legend. Love it there.
Newcastle's got a good
It's the best,
history.
man. It's the best thing we've ever done.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you lived in Newcastle?
No,
before?
never. No.
Job.
You know what? I will tell you the story. It's actually, it went boring. If it's boring, we can cut it out. But
we'll just speed it up. We'll just fast forward it.
So I'm in Newcastle. Yeah. So it was at the Sydney Expo last year, and I entered. I'd been pretty much doing lettering for the last year or two, leading up, and you know, I was like, all right, I'm going to enter this lettering comp, whatever. And there's only 2 entrants. It was me and this dude called Matty Scribes.
Oh.
And it was one of those things like, you know, because mine was bigger, you're like, oh fuck, I'm gonna win this, you know, is it? But then like you looked at his and it was intricate and it was fucking, anyway, he beat me. So, yeah. And it was kind of, you know, at the time I was like, no, fuck, I got robbed. But looking back, I'm like, oh no, he was the next level. So yeah, so then that happened. I made friends with him.
Amazing observation.
Yep. The best part is that we were going to move to Wollongong, decided not to, went for a holiday on the Gold Coast, drove back, and I was like, you know what? This guy owns a shop in Newey. I'm going to go 10-minute detour, have a visit. Had a chat to him, and he's like, yeah, fuck, man, I'd obviously love for you to work here. If you want to move here, here's the deal. And yeah, and then the best part of the story is, fast forward a year later to this year's Sydney convention, beat him in lettering. Sorry, Matty, I just say that.
I know, and then obviously then it's the next awkward conversation.
No.
Yeah, that would even.
Not even, because at this point I'm working for him. Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, so at this point I'm working for him, and he's fucking stoked for me. You know, like he's so proud, and
As it should be.
yeah. But then I also like was lucky enough, and I feel like I fluked these 2 awards, but I also won geometric the next day at the Oz Tattoo Expo, right? So from there I was like, you know what? I just love doing geometric, and I'm going to say this, and this is going to sound probably bad and maybe come across the wrong way, but the way I came into tattooing, you had to do every style, and that was before my apprenticeship. Then I had another proper apprenticeship, and that was still what was reiterated. So I didn't have a passion for any particular art style. For me, trad was tattooing.
Specialise in tattooing.
Yeah,
and
tattooing was trad, tattooing was... I knew I wasn't going to be a realism guy, I didn't even do it that way.
The craftsmanship side of it, isn't it? The line weights, the this, the that, the whatever.
And so I was obsessed with having clean lines, obsessed with getting colour fucking saturated, obsessed with just like all the... And that was mainly trad. But then I had a thought, I was like, you know what? I like the feeling... I like doing good tattoos, and it sounds fucking dumb, but what I mean by that is like, I like having it look good in the customers, oh, fucking amazing, you know, like it could be a realism or Japanese or fucking whatever, but if it's a good tattoo that I'm proud of, I don't care about the style. I'm just so happy that I executed it to that standard. There's probably maybe 1 or 2 styles that I feel like I can get to that level, but the one that I feel like I'm the best at is geometric, right? So since I started doing that, my books are just fine. I'm only posting that now, and it's just gone mental.
Also.
But do I enjoy doing it more than any other style? Nah.
You know, is that bad? Fuck, I don't know. Not at all. Like, you play to your strengths, and sometimes in a career, you just go that way, and then you start to do a few things. Like, I used to work, actually, a guy I've got in next week, Mark Lonsdale, we worked together years ago. Mark Lonsdale's an amazing all-round tattooer, right? He was early on the piece scene doing geometric mandalas, or before iPads were around, like cutting them over, ordering all of them, blah, blah, blah. But he was so good at it, in the end, he wouldn't post them. Because he'd just get a flooding of them. But he wanted to do like a wolf's head or a tiger or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, but yeah, master of all styles, same thing from that era, same era I'm from. And, you know, where you get to now, like, I'm sure, what are you doing? You're doing full days?
So I'm doing full days, and I'm lucky enough to be booked out for a few months. Like,
and that style lends to it, because it's not like, I don't do full days, because, mate, I'm going to destroy people. Like, I work heavy and fast and solid. But it's maybe a softer, more like realism. It's not as fucking invasive. And man, if that's what your customers are wanting, and you're enjoying it, and you're good at it, hey, why not?
I'm loving it. And the best part of it is, in say like a 3-month period where you know, I'm saying if I'm booked out for 2 or 3 months, I'm only tattooing 10 people. You know, this guy's in once a month. This guy's in once a month, and it's all just adding and adding and adding. So it's like less admin. Let's be honest, less prep. And just more work and like I'm just focused on getting the cleanest lines possible. Everything fucking perfect.
And you know, like geometric, ornamental, the umbrella it's all under. You know, it's such an emerging style. It's in its infancy if you look compared to traditional, or black and grey, or Japanese. Like, it's going to continue to... So it's exciting to be in on it on pretty much the first level or two. Mate, when you're my age and older, fuck, it's just going to deviate and go, man,
all these Europeans...
But it lends itself to large-scale bodywork and coverage. You know, there's only a few styles that do that. And there's your repeat customer. And on the gram, your customers are following all these pages. They know there's a bodysuit of ornamental stuff.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Even if you don't do that, it flows with, it's very cool for chicks too, flows with the body, male body as well. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
No, but like I've been pretty lucky because every single person I talk to, especially from Sydney, but pretty much everyone, unless you're like really top tier kind of, you know, booked out forever, everyone's like, oh, I'm struggling, it's fucking this and that. I'm like, you guys are all way better than me, in my opinion, but I'm booked out for fucking months. Like, what's going on? There's something, you know?
There's a lot of things like that. And it's hard, right? Like, I was saying to a guy before, like, and this is from studying tattoo history as well. Like, generally, like, I'm not from Sydney. You know, I've got one of the biggest shops here.
You're a Sydney boy now.
Sydney boy now, yeah. But I think sometimes it's people that come from the outside or overseas or interstate or rural areas see the opportunity that it has more so than the locals.
Yeah.
Like if you've been tattooing if you're born and bred in Sydney, you've been tattooing here for 5, 10, 15 years and you've got no customers, something happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is because it's case by case. So it's time to maybe reflect.
Yeah. No, maybe, and I don't know because I wasn't around, but like maybe they didn't have to work as hard back then to get the clients.
Quite
you know,
possibly.
less people kind of.
Granted.
Yeah, and like
Who knows?
even now, like you see a tattoo shop, and like the average person, I would assume, is like, you know, unless you're really into it, you look at the tattoo shop and you just fucking assume that they're going to be able to do their job. You know, you go to a bakery, they're going to be able to fucking make bread. Yeah. But you're going to tattoo us, like, shouldn't the person there be? But of course, that's not the case.
Yes.
You know, but they didn't know that back then. So it's like, oh, yeah, we have a tattoo shop. Let's fucking everyone go there.
Sure. Let's deviate a little bit, like how we met. We met online, like all good relationships these days. So you reached out to me and asked me to be on. What was I can't actually remember that. I know it was Blunt Mag.
Yeah.
What was the name of the podcast?
Yeah, so it was called the Blunt Mag Tattoo Podcast. Yeah, I just thought I'd play on words a bit, and I was lucky enough to know the owner of Blunt Mag, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah. So give us a bit of a rundown of how that formed.
Okay, so I know Mike from. So Mike is the owner of Blunt Magazine at the moment, but yeah, I know Mike for the last decade from the music world. You know, he was a publicist, I was a band manager, this and that. You know, whatever. Growing up in the music industry, he ends up owning Blunt Magazine, and I just thought Blunt Mag. That's a sick name for a podcast. Like, you know, and there was that
old school.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there was like some Instagram called like Happy Mag TV. And I looked at it and I was always like, is that a tattoo thing? And I always thought that. And anyway, so the whole idea of it, so it's a podcast and essentially, you know, I just wanted to get people from varying genres. The main thing, and I don't know if I mentioned this at the time, was I was in lockdown, so I had nothing to do, but also I just wanted to fucking meet my heroes, man. Like, and it was kind of like, let me just chuck a bunch of shit out, see what sticks. And like fucking everyone was saying yes. Like, I wasn't until I'd interviewed like MJ or someone else. They're like, no, you should ask Reese. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking ask Reese Gordon. And then I'm like, what? But yeah, man, like,
mate, I'm gonna say yes to most things. Seriously.
Yeah. Like, so it ended up being, you know, people like yourself, MJ, Sam Taylor, you know, Ogie, just like phenomenal people. Eddie Lou, just like superstars, man. And for me, and I mentioned this when I was interviewing you, like it's fucking, I'm there in front of my heroes, man. And I like sport, I like sports people, but I don't give a fuck about actors. I don't really get starstruck at all until it's like fucking people like yourself, people like that you know, pertain to me, you know, and then I'm like, I can't even talk. I didn't realize that until like, when like face to face, I'm like, fuck.
Hey, mate, it was a great thing. Like, fuck, you know, like a lot of good feedback from it. Like, you know, we were talking before off camera, it went way better than you could have expected. And, you know, I was saying as well, like, you know, MJ's got round 2 of True Love. You know, say how Hunter's doing one. There's so many people that are dipping their toes and feet in the water these days. It's great. Like conventions, there's enough room for everyone. Like tattoo shops, like tattoo artists. If you're good and you're giving something back and it's coming from the right place, go for it.
Yeah.
There's no rules. There's no guardian angel saying what you can and can't do. You know, and not everyone's going to agree with it, and that's okay as well.
Yeah. Yeah, like it was just kind of, I don't know, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it. And,
you put yourself out there for it. And it is hard and it is daunting.
Yeah. One thing I will say is that it did add like a whole chunk of stress to my life that I just didn't need at that time as well. And like after I'd started it and sent out the emails and everyone had said yes, I'm like, oh fuck, I actually have to do this.
Yeah.
And then it's like, you're relying on other, as you know, you're relying on other people.
Zoom, like this stuff.
But also, person A to do his job who's relying on this person, but then I can't get back to you or him or her. And then I look shit because I'm the point of contact. And I was like, after this, I'm done. But like, fuck, I met some of the best people ever and got like such unique perspectives from how everyone approaches their art. And
that's the best thing as well. Like, I'm a bit further down the road than you in my career and stuff, but I'm, one of the reasons I do this as well is for the same thing. And whether we've had people here tattooing for a year at Little Tokyo, and some people go, what the fuck? But they're good.
Yeah.
How can I say, oh, you haven't got 3 years shop experience? You're fucking killing it. I can learn from you, learn from everyone, and that's the beauty of it. We can all continue to learn. So one of my really good memories of that podcast was talking to you about convention.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was some drama going on with one of the conventions because of, deposits and people firing up and all of this sort of stuff. And I think I remember saying to you, like, I get it as a business owner, right? And I said, I know a lot of tattooers that have fucking spent people's deposits, and they were some pretty big voices against all that stuff, right? And I'm like, I don't lend artists money here, all this sort of stuff. Artists here and other shop owners and other people, the conversation was, generally artists were shitting themselves if their customer was going to ask for their deposit back. But then you're kicking off about this, and my thing to you was, you make up your own mind. You go and work it out for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think you did, and you've had a great run with conventions. I saw you I think at that one.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh man, this is good. Everyone's come together. We're all here for a good thing. We're all having fun.
Yeah. And
mate, you've gone on to look where it got you. Imagine you'd never gone to a convention. It wouldn't be in Newcastle now.
Yeah. I mean, I was always going to go. And that was like I said at the time, conventions are the big day out. That's playing at the fucking Horden Pavilion if you're a rock band. That's what, for me, tattooing is. Mad guest spots, mad conventions.
Totally.
All that's, that's, but
it's an amazing way to put it. It is the big day out of tattooing.
Yeah. And like, speaking of conventions, sorry to deviate quickly, but obviously like a few weeks ago, I don't know when this is going to drop, but a few weeks ago, you had your convention.
Yeah.
That was fucking sick. I haven't been around to have seen conventions like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how they used to be or anything like that, or
I don't know. Like that was Todd and Katie Bailey's Powerhouse. They'd had that on the back burner for a while with COVID. It came along. We got a great friendship and relationship. So when they got the Sydney Town Hall, they asked me to come in and be a part of it. So I'm like, sweet. I actually got the sweet deal. Katie was the brains behind it, the admin legend and everything, and Todd played a big part too. So I don't know if there's been a convention like that for a long time. It didn't used to be like that. PTAA had great conventions, but it was a different time frame then and a different client that would come through the door and all the rest of it. Definitely nowhere near as much tattooing would go on. So I think for us, we were just so fortunate that, the town hall said yes. All the good artists wanted to come. All the good customers wanted to come. All the good people just wanted to check out tattooing came. The sun shone. Like, the tattoo gods looked after me. Obviously some teething issues here and there, but for 3 people that have got no event organisational skills, we're blown away.
Yeah, it was.
The Iron Gate one is going to be at the end of this year, so that's set to be a great convention as well. So there's so many good things happening, in the convention scene, and if it's good and it adds value, it goes to show that people are hungry for it and they'll support it.
Yeah. Well, one of the coolest things I thought about that convention on the weekend a few weeks ago was I met so many people that weren't tattooing but were there just at the gigs. And like people like, from Canberra and like Brisbane, and just random people. Oh, you're fucking that guy. Yeah, him come up to me. Oh, Louie. I'm like, yeah, and say, sweet. But like it was. I don't know. I feel like it was just I feel it was more for the artist. I don't know. I guess being an artist, it's what I wanted when I go in there, and
for sure, and that's the way we viewed at it. Like, and mate, it's family run. Todd and Katie had the kids on the stage, like me as the MC. I'm not paying someone else to do it. Like, it's us. It's tattooing.
Yeah,
it's as tattooing as it gets.
The best part of that evening, and I reckon we're going to cut this out, is I was in the cubicle bathroom with Igor. Don't ask what I was doing there. But then I heard, I'm pretty sure it was your voice. The best thing about this was there's fuck all young cunts. At the after party.
No. There you go. Well,
yeah, we'll cut that out.
No, keep it in there, mate. I said a lot of things that
Me too.
we can't remember, but it was good. Like, I think when I say that,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like,
I hope you guys get what I mean.
Just like the vibe of it all. I don't know. That's what I took from it anyway. Is that
some of the great feedback I got from people is that it was a mix of old world and new world all come together. Like, there was good vibes all around. There were no rock stars. There were no egos. There were no dickheads. So it made it easy. And it was showcased a lot of real everyone's busy.
Yeah.
Hey, one dude from New Zealand did 45 tattoos.
Yeah, fuck.
So many people were booked up on the Friday night for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
As an organizer putting something on, first you're worried that artists aren't going to make any money and they're going to fucking start slagging it off, going, fuck this, blah, blah, blah. Then you're worried that no one's going to come through the door and it's going to be a ghost town. So we were just lucky from day one. It just kept going and going and going.
Yeah. Well, what was another thing that was sick was I noticed there were a lot of artists there that like maybe didn't necessarily have like, the biggest Instagram followings or whatever, but they've been tattooing 10, 15 years. And like, being around, like, you obviously know who these guys are and you're like, I don't give a fuck about your Instagram. I know you from back in the day. You're in it. And I thought that was really cool. There was a lot of people that I noticed that were in that sort of boat. I'm like, yeah, cool. I know these guys. These guys probably don't, but
it was fun. But that's what I mean. It was a good mix. Good after party. Sunday night was a random one at Ramblin' Rascal.
Yeah.
Pantera cover band. I think everything just kept rolling.
So I met Dan Gold. Yeah. Well, of course you do. Yeah. I made friends with his son without knowing it was his son, and then obviously the KFC. Yeah. I'm like, you're a fucking tattoo prince. Imagine like being invited by like fucking yourself to come to your convention in another country. Like, fuck you. Some good looking 20-year-old little prick. Like, he's legend of a dude. But just fuck you. You're having a good start.
Hey, like he's like, dad's just cracked. Like, I knew his dad.
Not a prick. I didn't mean that. I didn't. No. Oh, these guys don't fucking think I love the dude.
Yeah, like I remember like, I know his dad from London, and when they're coming over, awesome. Todd knows dad as well. And then I'm sitting in KFC and I see this young, good-looking kid with blonde hair. Like, oh, yeah, mate, I heard the English accent. A few times, oh, you here for the convention, mate? Yeah, started chatting away. Like, oh, yeah, I know.
Because you didn't know who you were?
No, I didn't know who you were. Yeah, right. Making conversation. I'll talk to most people, right? So, oh, yeah, cool. Oh, mate, I know your dad. And then he's like, I reckon I'm looking into getting my visa already. Australia's amazing. So it was really good, really good.
Wait, can I talk to you about something? And
like me.
Okay, all right. This might be a bit of an iffy one. So I don't like. We can again. I keep saying this. We can cut it off. But I want to know why the fuck like people come and then like go all the time. Like,
what do you mean?
Like to Little Tokyo. Like, I don't know. Like, for me, it's like the holy grail.
Yeah, but everyone. Okay, so there's the grapevine.
This is heavy hitting. So like, I said, we can.
Great thing, right? There's the grapevine, and then there's reality. Right, and as a shop owner as well, like, so probably a couple of years ago after the lockdown, I had probably 5 people leave. I had Cole, Song, Jiho, Nikita, Dean, Bree, like all people left. Like,
for that, what are you supposed to know about? Okay, yeah, sorry.
And this is like, some people leave for whatever reasons. Other people leave to further their careers. Like, looking from the outside, looking in. After you've been somewhere for a couple of years, like you were down Batesman's Bay, thinking you're never going to leave, another opportunity will come up. It might be to broaden my horizons, learn a new skill set. Some went downstairs to Hibernia. Jiho's gone to Lighthouse. Cole went to Rosie's. Amazing. They're gone on and we're all still friends. Like, the longest I've ever worked anywhere is 5 years. You know, you're not going to be in Newcastle forever. I hate to break it to you. You know, it's never going to be that way. So generally, I think the way I would see it, and other people are going to have different opinions as well. And that's okay. It's all perspective. People are going to come and go. They're going to upskill. They're going to... One thing I'm proud of at Little Tokyo, if you want to, you can use it to springboard your career and build yourself. Not everyone has that in them to do it. Like, you know, like Jeff Rhodes' dad said to me, he goes, your problem, Reese, is you want the best for everyone, right? You can't expect everyone to want to be here. You need A, B, C, D. You need good, better, best. It's what we have here, you know, and that's the way it's always going to be. So some people will go on and do their own shop. Out of that crew that left, nobody's done it. I recently had Eagles going back to Portugal. Yeah. He's having a kid there. Mitch has just gone to the America for 2 months. Then he's going to go to Thailand. He's going to travel Australia in his van. You know, life goes on.
Yeah, it's the nature of the industry, I guess. But
for sure. So what I'm proud of is a lot of people have done good stints here.
I've come from the Reese Gordon tree.
Yeah, maybe whatever. Maybe some people say it that way, but they've been in, well, yeah, if you want to look at it that way, but they've also benefited from the collective environment, not just me, working in that environment with all of these other people.
Of course they are, yeah, absolutely.
So right now, you know, we're going through another change, and sometimes it just falls that way and people leave within 1 or 2 months of each other.
Yeah. I hope you didn't see that question as disrespectful, because it was in fact supposed to be the opposite of, I don't get it, because when I'm coming into it, my perception of it is...
Yeah.
You know what I mean. I don't have to say too much, but...
Don't get me wrong. I get it from both an artist's point of view and a shop owner's point of view. Like I'm not from Sydney. Like, I made my name in Sydney working at a shop called Innovision for Cliff Clayton for 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, some people think Cliff's a dickhead. Some people slag him off. I'll never slag that guy off. I love Cliff. Like you, he gave me the leg up in Sydney. He gave me the opportunity. There were definitely times I didn't agree with what he said, but instead of being a bitch and complaining and slagging him off, I either spoke it out with him or I chose to eat humble pie and get on with it, until it came to a point where I got offered another job at what I considered then a better shop for me at that time, to then go on and make my career better, to then allow this to happen. So, you know, now, like, Kit worked here part-time 2 days a week for about 2 years. He's came here and it reinvigorated his career. He's now got a different mindset. He's coming down from Newcastle 2 days a week, stay at my place on weekends.
Oh, Kit. Yeah, and Kit from Louie. Yeah, okay, yeah.
You're on place for the majority of that time on the weekends. I get out of people also just as much as they may get out of me, or they get out of the environment. So with Kid, it was great. Similar, he's been tattooed maybe 10 years less or whatever. Similar staff and understanding. You learn from everyone, learns from each other. If everything's the same and never changes, nothing's going to change. It's going to stagnate. So now we're in a change as well. We're hot off the press. We've got about 5 good people coming here. 3 of them all booked up off their own right. You know, and it's just the way it is. It's just the evolution.
Yeah.
And that's the way it goes. You know, me, I'm changing my life as well. Like, I've got this here, but last year I've been splitting my time between here and the Gold Coast. You know, I've heard whispers of like, oh, what's he doing, blah, blah, blah. And if people aren't happy with it, the sad thing for me is, and this is every industry, people will just whisper behind your back rather than having the balls to say it to you, which is that's more of a reflection on others than a reflection on me. Because I think I'm pretty approachable.
Yeah.
And I want the best for everyone. Some people maybe get intimidated by that or overwhelmed or don't know how to communicate or deal with it, and that's okay. You know, a really good thing, what I loved at the convention was, I'm going to be careful how I say this, some good friends of mine that work in other studios that know collective people we all know together, that's very politically correct there, wanted to do the convention, then didn't want to do it, and then were hoping it was going to fail, and then turned up to it, and I saw the look on her face. They either looked at the ground or looked away, or went, "Oh, well done," shocked. And I'm like, I didn't do this convention for me. Todd and Katie didn't do it for them. We did it for tattooing. So people have got to somehow, they've got a different mindset. My mindset is I'm giving back to this industry because it's been so good to me. So there's all of these things where now I'm at the stage, I've just turned 50. I literally don't give a fuck. Not in an arrogant way. I've got probably 15 solid years left on at a high level. I've got to use my headspace and my time to get rid of all the small chitter chatter and focus on what I can really achieve in this next period.
Yep.
So long-winded answer, tangent and everything, but you got to back yourself. I know what I'm doing, especially after that convention in a non-arrogant way. We pulled off something pretty fucking
Couldn't really have gone better, could it?
Exactly, something pretty fucking special. And if those people that I know slag me off apply next year, yeah, you can get a booth. Of course. You know, how about...
No, I get a booth. I thought it was like invitation only.
Well,
So
see, I got slagged off for that as well. It said, so maybe we're going to have to call it an application, or
Yeah.
you put in an application, and then from that, we will choose, like, it was evenly split. There were no rows dominated by Sydney shops. It was pretty evenly spread between Queensland, New South Wales, Melbourne. Then we had Adelaide. Then we had
New Zealand,
UK. So yeah. So what we did was we put it through, and then we did, all right, we're going to try and even it out as best we can. Applications are going to open again. And then we'll send out the invitations again.
Not that it really would have made a difference. It's all going to get filled one way or another anyway.
But with that anyway, you know, in the...
Hey, pick someone else to hate, not Reece Gordon.
Oh, don't worry, I've got my haters and that. I'm comfortable with it, you know. And it's like if you're a social justice warrior, you can't make everybody happy. Same as in conventions, same as running a tattoo shop. You can't make everybody happy. You know, some people are just going to be pissed off or envious or fucking jealous or whatever. You can't waste your time on it, because then they've won. So if you're on a good thing and you're doing something good, just keep going for it.
I was fine. Like when you're doing well, you're always, maybe it's human nature.
Everyone can do well.
When you do well, you want others to do well. When you go and shit, you want others to do shit. And it's kind of...
Sure, like I'm not where I'm at now, like running a business and everything, like, you know, like I've pulled people off emails because you're just replying to an email like, yeah, that's sick. Like, you sound like a fucking 7-year-old. You don't know who's on the back of that. We gave you that email. They didn't come to Little Tokyo for you.
Yeah.
Some people lose this in the filter of whatever.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've heard recently, I know people that are wanting pay rises and because of the cost of living. And I'm like, man, any shop owner knows since the first lockdown we came out of, gloves went from $6 a box to up to 26 at one point. Now they're around the $15 mark. How about you build your own career? How about you go a bit better, you go above and beyond? How about maybe, heaven forbid, you work 5 days a week? You got no clients, the shop's feeding it to you. Come on.
Yeah, no, I hear that. And I'm not going to mention any names, but in Louie, like I said before, same as here, it's kind of, you know, there's a few people, and it always seems to be the ones specializing in something are the ones that are booked out. And then the ones that are kind of, we can do everything. There's that perception that because you can do everything, you mustn't be spectacular at anything. You know, which is obviously untrue. You know, there's people that are spectacular at 4 or 5 things. But because of that perception, and then, oh no, like the landscape of tattooing's fucked. It's not for me, man. Like, it's, you know,
okay, so my perspective on that is you're the package, right? You know, you've got the enthusiasm. You've got a fucking great personality. You're a genuine person. I'm sure people can genuinely see you're stoked to be doing it. And I'm sure you give them a great experience. On top of that, fucking super good, clean tattoo. Like, you can be the most amazing artist in the world. You can turn up late. You cannot be prepared. You can be a shit.
I fucking hate that shit. And it triggers me because it was so anti.
Don't worry, mate. My generation and the younger one in between me and you is riddled with people like this that should be killing it, but they're not because
it just hang on.
their choice.
Another half an hour while I sit around while you're waiting there. I'm not mentioning any names, but
No, mate,
what's going on? Like, bro, what's...
Yeah, I'm gotten rid of people here because of those exact reasons. And then I'm the cunt, you know, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, or they come in and like, oh, what are we doing today? What the fuck do you mean? They've been booked in for months. Shouldn't you have like, you know...
Just already that customer just goes,
Great. Like,
you know, like, wow, you know, not that you fucking have to kiss their ass, but just as it's a certain level of professionalism.
And
treat others the way you want to be treated yourself.
I'm a big believer in just matching their level of enthusiasm and sort of who they are, you know, as a person, you know. So someone's like heaps keen. They've been waiting for months to get in with you. This is a big fucking deal for them. We're spending a week's pay for one day for you to get a tattoo, you know. Like, give them what they fucking deserve, you know what I mean? Like, that shit pisses me off. I'm sorry. Like,
No, and you know what? Like, what you'll realise as well is as the years tick over, like, you can't teach that to people. And if people like, you know, JB Hi-Fi used to be the place that accepted all the tattooed people, right? A lot of tattooers have worked there, yourself included, right? Now, Bunnings and other places like and Costco are going to be the wastelands of failed tattooers, you know, because probably you got no other skills, you know, and you're going to become jaded and bitter and twisted. And, you know, they're the people that can infect that shop, that one person that spoils everything, you know. And if they're older and a bit more forceful, they can manipulate or bully younger tattooers that maybe aren't as confident and get sort of, you know,
make them thinking that they're not in a good situation when they are, or making them think that it's better elsewhere when it's not. And
that is just so fucked. It's just so fucked. It's a reflection of where they're at in their career, not on the shop owner or the shop. Simple as that.
Yeah, well, like, talk. Now that we're on the subject of things that frustrate us about tattooers, I actually want to like say this to people that are just fucking starting tattooing or like, you know, about to start an apprenticeship or whatever. In their first 5 years of tattooing, do every fucking tattoo that comes your way. And it's like, you know, people that like, and I see it every fucking day where people go, oh no, I only do this style. But you've only been tattooing a year. What do you mean you only do that style? It's the line work, color packing, shading, fucking blending. Practice that shit. Until, like, you know, you've been tattooing less than 5 years, you don't know what fucking style you got, do you? So do every tattoo and, like, build a relationship. Fucking, you know, this person wants an infinity symbol, but then you talk to them and then you get them doing the trad that you want to do or the fucking this that you want to do. And people disconnect. Like, I don't want to talk to them because they want a little mandala there. It doesn't fit.
It's ego, right? So that first shop you worked in, Bateman's Bay you worked in, my generation, a lot of other things, you weren't allowed an ego. It got tamed pretty quickly. Where now with the proliferation of a lot of shops, a lot of people tattooing, apprenticing other people, all the rest, the dilution of it, this stuff has been lost, right? I've had people here that would, oh, hey, there's someone in the waiting room for a walk-in. They'd go out and talk to them and they just wouldn't want to do it. And they'd just walk off and leave the person sitting there on the couch. Not even go to the manager, oh, hey, I don't want to do that. Can you get them to do something else? Like, are you serious? Didn't work out for them very well. And they've not really gone on to set the world on fire. It's just customer service skills, you know. And like, okay, this is what I love too, right? So everyone's got their tat bro and their tat sister, right? So I've broken it down to a few people. I've got, all right, so, this is my mate. Okay, cool. Have you ever asked your mate for some critique? Yeah, they said this is sick. I'm like, all right, cool. Really, it's not. You know, like you've just drawn a girl's face and popped it that way and then just slapped it together. They're doing a lot better work than you. If they're your mate, why didn't they critique you on some of the most basic stuff here? Because they're not really your mate. They're your party friend. They're not going to be there on the day when you need them, and that shows the fact. So I've got to be very, I'm very aware when I'll critique younger tattooers or people who've just started here. I try and find a way that I'm not going to offend them and they get their back up and all of this stuff.
But shouldn't that be like a test of like...
It should be. It should be. I come from...
So when you get a critique, it's the wrong job for you. I'm sorry.
And then I get to the point, like, best case scenario is everyone wins. I learn from you, you learn from me. I get enjoyment out of partaking some of my knowledge onto you. You should get some enjoyment on giving me some information that I go, oh, I never thought of that, or what's this new needle grip? Try this, try that. So two-way street. But when it's one way, it'll show that. So I'll even get to the point where I'll just shut up because I'll ask someone they'll say, oh, can you check this out? And I'll go, yeah, this is cool, but maybe think about this. Before you finish the sentence, they're talking over you, telling you they've already worked it out. So I just go, whatever. And I'm far from perfect. I don't know it all. But that's what I sort of see.
Yeah. And like when they're coming in really looking for a compliment, but it's not quite a compliment as well.
Critique isn't instantly a compliment. Critique is, another point of view, another opinion that you'll hopefully evolve from or learn from, or at least make you think about it. So it is weird, and I know some people find it hard, especially when they're tat bros and they're tat sisters. And when I've brought this up to people, go, well, maybe. I had one person work here, had worked in all these amazing shops around the world, like could not set up. One time took 16 pairs of gloves to set up before they did a tattoo. And I went, you know what? Sad thing is, all these people are supposedly your mates and your friends and your crew. They didn't give a fuck about you. They probably just wanted to try and fuck you. Because no one took the time to go, hey, you know what? You don't need to waste 16 pairs of gloves. That to me is really caring.
Yeah.
And really giving a good critique and all that. Same to the drawing. Like if someone has a more advanced artistic skill than you, and they see you making fundamental mistakes, and they don't, and you guys are supposed friends, and they don't talk to you about it and try and help you, they're not really your mate. They're your party mate.
Nah, totally. And to be honest, like one thing about this shop that I'm at is it's literally the opposite of what we're just talking about. It's the best environment, man. Like I feel just blessed to be at that. Like not that I wasn't blessed to be at Free Spirit. It was a different time, but this is more fun because I put the work in at Free Spirit. So I don't want that to be the vibe I'm giving off. But it's the Wild West in Louie, man. And you're fucking like, we're all just like, doing our own thing. We're all in charge of our own clients. It's just a big collective space of artists, which I think is kind of the way that it's going to go, personally.
I think it's definitely going to be one of the
people each have some ownership of something. It's not how it is at this shop, but, the Black Mark with Elric and those guys, and
100%.
Like Troy Slack in Adelaide, Matt Curzon in Brisbane, they're all just top tier artists, just each having a piece.
And if you want to sell out of it, you can. Someone else can buy in. It's going to go that way for sure.
I think it's going to go that way. And this is probably the only question I actually thought about, because I know you generally ask, like, where's tattooing going? I think it's going collectives and private studios. Half of those private studios are going to shut down because they're all illegal. But I think, like the people that are, like, there'll be a bunch of part-timers like I used to be, day job, but then every now and then they can tattoo their mates on the weekend and whatever. Like, there's a place for that.
Design or personal training or hair and makeup or
JB Hi-Fi,
or Reiki or massage, whatever. It doesn't matter.
And I think that's, like, everyone, in my opinion, is going to fall where they deserve to fall.
Water finds its own level. Like, I think there'll definitely always be street shops. Maybe they'll just get more condensed in tourist areas, party areas, that sort of thing, because, not really, because there's always going to be a market for that. And this is going to be the breeding ground, first tier for getting an apprenticeship. Like you can do an apprenticeship at a private studio, but you're going to miss out on working all over you're going to miss out on the fast tracking. Like they say, travel for 1 year is the equivalent of 10 years of education. So 1 year in a street shop is probably going to be maybe life skills, communication, hustling, all this sort of stuff. The equivalent to maybe 5 years in a private studio. You might get straight to the point, a private studio, but unless you're that very special niche person,
which most of them won't be.
Exactly. Off the bat, you're going to struggle, and then probably going to go into the part-timer realm.
Yeah. And even like people that are, only did one style, and there's people that aren't apprentices anymore.
Yeah.
They don't never fucking learn how to do lettering. They don't never fucking learn how to do this, whip shading, they don't fucking anything, but they can do their one style and that's it. All right, sweet. When no one wants that style anymore, have fun doing fucking walk-ins, mate.
Well, yeah, exactly. But you won't have the skills to be able to do it. But look for example, look where fine line has come out of nowhere the last 5 years, right? Fucking one of the biggest movements in the world right now. A couple of years ago, there were 5 people in Sydney doing it. Now, it's fucking probably 30, 40, 50, and then it'll reach saturation point. Then another trend will come along. And if you don't adapt and evolve and all the rest of it, your career will go like this.
Yeah. I think from what I've seen anyway, is the people that get so far into one style, there's some fine line guys, Loz of Rage from DY there and or wherever our shop is, Aquatica. And so some really, really good fine line people that have taken it to that next level. I think that they're going to be fine, but it's the people that sort of never got to that level, never had that sort of artistic flair to take it to that. There's no point going to these guys.
Communication skills or personality or booking skills.
So whatever it is. I
saw something the other day, and a lot of maybe, let's say, 30 plus tattooers will bitch and moan about, I don't want to have to do reels. I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have to be a director. I don't want to have to be a photographer. I don't have to learn lighting. Hey, don't. So what?
Yeah.
Do you want to be the blockbuster of your career? First all black and white movies, then color movies, then cinema, then fucking VHS, beta, Blu-ray, CD-ROM, Netflix, everything now.
That's what's so sick about you, man.
Every industry's the same. So get over yourself.
Yeah.
And adapt.
Yeah. Or yourself, Jason, my old boss.
Off the Bunnings.
Yeah. I had JB Hi-Fi. So, Jace as well, my old boss. He's been tattooing for 25, almost 30 years now. And, he's owned the shop for 25 years, maybe tattooing 30 years. And his thing was always, do the right thing and work hard.
Yeah.
Recipe for success.
Yep.
But he was always he's always buying the new machine. He's always what's this app that I can get that might make my stencils better? Or what's this printer, stencil printer? And he's always at the forefront of the industry, even now. And he's your age, if not older. Yeah. And he's fucking so excited about it, more excited than I am, more excited than,
Every time I've talked to Jason, I get the exact same vibe.
He'd have some fucking stories to hear.
I have to get him on.
Yeah. But he's a fucking legend, man. And it was just him, Jason and Mitch, and another guy called Brett House. I should mention those 3 people were, in particular, Brett and Mitch, because Jason was in the Manly shop. I was working with Brett and Mitch, and they literally taught me everything I know about tattooing, including and especially work ethic, professionalism, what's important. If someone comes in wanting a little tiny fine line script, don't do it if they want it that small, because it's not going to look good. Don't just fucking do it for the sake of getting their money.
Just talk to them.
Yeah, explain, even to the point where if they still insisted, we wouldn't do it, which I think is sick.
Yeah, 8 times out of 10, if you can talk to that person, they're going to go, oh yeah, I get it. Or look at that. Yeah. That used to be that thin. It's not now.
Exactly. And I think a lot of tattooers, this is going to sound like I'm just ragging on everyone, but no. A lot of
perspective.
Yeah. A lot of tattooers I find will not have the energy or the desire, whatever, or feel the need to explain to the person that why it's not a good idea. Yep. And the person's not a dickhead. They just come in and they got no idea. If I don't know anything about cars. If I go into a car dealership, I just I want a car that does this, this, and this. It's their job to be nah, it can do this and this, but it won't do that. Or you can have this and it's our job to do that same thing to them.
100%. A million questions, same as that used car salesman or that car salesman. We're always going to get asked, does it hurt? How much? How long? Smaller? Bigger? All of these monotonous questions. Unfortunately,
Like,
exactly, it's fine. You know, that's the way it is.
yeah, man. Like, I'm just like super fucking appreciative. Like, this is gonna sound fucking stupid. I wake up in the morning and like sometimes I'll like fucking vibrate and just buzz out. I'm like, I've had so many shit jobs. The fact that I'm doing this every fucking day, just drawing on people, rock up whenever I want, finish whenever I want, just makes a good profit money.
Well, that's it, appreciation and perspective, because I think, you know, back to that, if someone comes straight out of art school and, you know, well, okay, so they're not going to have that appreciation of the thing. We did, when Kit was here, we did a survey one day. I think at that time that was so there were 22 artists working here, right? We did a survey, 16 or 17 of them all had tertiary education. No one in my family's ever gone to uni. I don't know anyone from my generation that's ever gone to uni. None of my mates have ever gone to uni. So this is how it's changing now. It's going from a blue-collar trade and industry into more of a white-collar, educated sort of thing as a whole. There's still always going to be people that come in other ways, but this seems to be a way of fast-tracking your way into it. You know, hey, I want to be a graphic designer. Then you realise there's really no freedom in it. And then you realise, oh, fuck, man, it's not really cool. Tattooing is the...
My AJ's $800 a day. What the fuck?
Imagine they like did a TAFE course on tattooing. My God, it would be, for the next 10 years, the most popular TAFE course TAFE has ever seen. But it's never going to, you know, so it's one of those things.
Yeah, so something funny, and I don't know how long we're going, but something funny, like,
No, keep rolling. Awesome.
man, like, when I was first thinking about it, because I was always sort of decent at drawing, like, not good, but decent compared to my friends and stuff like that, and then there was this one person who was actually my singer at the time's girlfriend, who did that tattoo and that tattoo as an apprentice. I won't mention her name because it was a home job, and she's now actually tattooing, gone away, come back. But like, fuck, I just lost my train of thought.
You got this and this. Apprentice.
She's an apprentice.
I'm going to talk about...
I'm so sorry.
It'll come to you. So just recently, things come up in Sydney where it's not a school, but it's similar to like Coroma and Cork. And
Isn't the wine and dine? I've seen that.
I'm not going to name it or whatever. I'm actually going to reach out to them and try and get them to come and talk to me. Because it's interesting and I'd like to get their perspective rather than just slag them off, you know. So try and at least get them to come in and give us their viewpoint on it and sort of go from there. But there's, you know, like when you were saying before, like tattooing is going to be a lot more collectives, a lot more private studios. Private studios are going to close down, already happening. You know, it's going to part-timers, all this stuff. It's going to change and evolve. You know, like AI already is big. You know, in a couple of years, you know, like there's already ads on Instagram and, hey, I can design my own sleeve. We get actually quite respectful emails sent here from clients going, hey, I was on Mid-Journey and I made, these are my 4 favorite ideas I want to do. I know I don't want you to copy it specifically, but can the artist do it? How cool is that? You know, you're going to get artists that are going to slag it off, and then that's more about them. But then you're going to get other artists go, yeah, cool, man. Just done half my homework. Just made it easy. So it's all of these. It's like the iPad. It's just another extended version of that, of Photoshop with a brain that can put all of these things together.
I'm all for that shit. I'm all for like, I've looked into AI, like,
and it's gonna just keep going, and who knows. And you know, the client base, like 10 years ago, there's no way you could have said to someone, you can be a personal trainer, you don't even have to train anyone, you can do online courses, online nutrition things, and you can drive a Lamborghini and a McLaren and a Ferrari. People are going to go, you're fucking kidding yourself. You know, like, so many possibilities out there. And to all the haters out there, instead of hating, how about you start doing? You know?
Absolutely. And this probably goes back, because I just remember what I was going to say. Is that, the person that did these, you know, the reason I didn't start tattooing, and this has gone back maybe 10 years when she did this, was that I was like, oh, I could never be as good as her, or I could never do that. And that's why I never, and actually, you'll probably like this story. I may have just started tattooing, or just about, and I bought this print, and it was from Benji Tobin. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh, fuck, man, like, I can't be as good as that. Like, there's no point even trying. Like, everyone must be as good as Benji Tobin. Like, obviously no one's as good as Benji Tobin, but fuck, I didn't know that at the time. And like, I was always just, I could never fucking do it, because I'd just invent reasons why I couldn't do it. I'd be never steady enough in my hand. I'd never fucking whatever. I'm not a good enough artist or whatever. Where the fuck do these people get the nerve to be like, oh, I could do it? Like, where's this confidence coming from to be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I can just do fucking fine lines all day and make that a career.
Yeah. It's a hard one, isn't it? It's because I'm
gonna get fucking cancelled for this.
not at all, mate. No, you're gonna get a lot of good feedback. Like for me, like I'm not a natural. I've got to work at it. And only now, after all of these years, do I have a mental back catalogue and muscle memory drawing things that it seems easier. But man, there were so many times, mate, when I was tattooing, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to get my tattoo magazines out in this book.
Fair enough.
And draw, but then I'd just fucking smoke a bong and just turn the pages and do nothing. There I go, one more. Have another bong, and then at the end of the night, I'm done fuck all except get stoned and turn pages. I didn't have the confidence to draw. I was hiding behind a weed. It is good that people do have...
Yeah, I guess.
Everyone's different. Like, everyone's... And that's where, if anything, I'm envious of some people's, not brash arrogance that I can do this, their willingness to give it a go. And, like, persistence will always outwin natural talent. A lot of people, like we mentioned before, there's a lot of great tattoo artists, a lot of great artists in general that are nowhere because they either don't have the drive or the consistency or whatever. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I've actually been like heap shit at everything I try, but I work way harder than everyone.
Hard work will always win. It's exactly. And what's going to happen over the next, say, 10 years of your career is you're going to have to work not as hard. You'll be working smarter. You'll be adapting to these things. You'll get this inspiration, honing in on that one style. You're going to just develop more and more and more, and it'll springboard from it. Like, I've had people that have worked here that started off doing ornamental work. They were doing pieces this big, and here, at the end of their time here, they're doing sleeves and backs. Now they're doing bodysuits. This is the evolution of a career if you keep that steady pace.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually the episode that you and Dylan were talking about that really got me inspired to focus on one. Also, it was probably literally that week that I listened to it. I was like, you know what, I only have to post one thing, and that's what I have to be known for. Yeah, it was that.
and it is crazy that the general public view it that way now. We can't control that, so there's no point bitching about it. I same like you, I can do all styles. In another life, I would love to be
trad guy.
No, not at all. I would love to be like a Euro Hanumantra Matt is one of my favourite tattoos. Jun Matsui. I'd love to be doing big, large-scale tribal on the body. But that's not me. And it's too late in my career. It's not too late, but I don't want to change. Because I'm like...
Flex out there? That sort of
Flex is hitting a stride big time.
She's sick.
So... and I lost it. What else? I went on a tangent myself as well. But yeah, it's some tattooers are doing one or two styles, even three styles really amazingly. Pucker, James Matthews up your way.
Matthews,
Brad, Jab.
I love that, man.
Pucker, same thing.
Yeah.
And back to them, it's like what I say to Pucker, why do you do that? Out in Campbelltown, out in the suburbs, you got to do everything.
Yeah.
It's generally the city, or you're fortunately where you are, up there where you can focus, like just the way it is, and be grateful and roll with it.
There's one dude at our shop, his name's Matt Van Herten. I don't know if you know him. He works at Stoneheart when he's in Sydney and works all over the place. He's just an amazing trad guy. But then he's got his other Instagram for black and grey, and he's the best trad guy and the best black and grey guy in the shop, essentially. Matt V Tattoos, everyone.
Sydney, there's a lot of people a lot of tattooers do have multiple accounts.
Yeah. Because Instagram apparently doesn't like. I can't be fucked in.
Well, or maybe you know, if you're a trad tattooer now, like it's hard, man.
Yeah.
Trad's back and it's strong, but you know, you need 10 customers to be booked out for a while. I need 20 to be booked out for 3 months. You know,
Trade guys need 50 to be.
if you're a trad guy, you need 20 customers a week.
Yeah.
You know, and being a successful trad dude is not doing one tattoo a day. You know, like but that's the nature of that style. But you chose that. You know, and it is hard to rise boats. You know,
One thing that I've sort of, even just having this chat with you now, that I've realized is like, I've got these pretty strong views, and they do come from, like, I guess having in a way, like, even though it's pretty recent, a pretty old school.
like one of the best things is of doing things like this is we're getting, you know, like last time we spoke, you're talking to me, asking about me. Now I'm asking about you, and now we've meshed over into the middle, which is the best.
It's absolutely still fucking mind blowing for me. Like,
It is, but you know, we're just two tattooers in the trenches together, talking about our life experience, and it's all relevant.
yeah, just two peers.
Totally, mate, totally. So it's good. So, all right. So I asked MJ some of this stuff, like where would you see, or where would you like to see your career in 5 years' time,
Okay.
or 2?
No, well, like I'm trying to make it seem like word this in a way that's not gonna sound shit, but like I'm fucking living my tattoo dreams right now, man. Like
Same.
I'm honestly like I'm booked out for 3 months. I've just got some this year has been out of control. I'm doing the style I want to do. I'm like Instagram's popping off. Fucking sponsorships, awards, fucking this, that. It's like, oh, I don't even deserve all this. Like I gotta do because I worked fucking hard, but it's like it's all just happening.
Newsflash, you do, man.
Oh, cheers. I appreciate that. But yeah, it's just like everything this year. Like, if you asked me that question at the beginning of this year, my answer would be what I'm living now. Yeah. Like,
Amazing.
It's fucking so stupid how good my life is, right? That sounds so shit. I know.
No. There's the old saying, you be good to tattooing and it'll be good to you.
And I want everyone around me to go well. I want, like, you know, since I got the sponsorship, you know, you're hustling for everyone else in your shop to get sponsored. You're fucking like trying to just build your shop, and I've got too much energy for this.
No, it's good, man. And like, ride it. Like, you know, I've had some old tattooers go to me, you know, like I take on a lot of projects, and, you know, not all of them always work. I fail loads, but I learn loads as well. So that's good. So while you got the energy, you might as well do it, you know, and it's a credit to your wife, 2 kids, all the rest of it. Like, how many days are you working now?
6.
Fuck.
Yeah. 4 days all day.
I was expecting you to go 4.
Man, I worked 7 days when I was at JB for like 5 years. I can't relate. I'm obsessed with my career. Like, I'm obsessed with furthering it in every little fucking aspect at all times. It's probably bad. Like, I maybe neglect my family. I hope I pay for everything. So fuck.
Yeah, but it's and you know what, in relationships sometimes there's, you know, it's like a bit like a palm tree. And I'm sure other times everyone benefits one way or another. So yeah.
To add to all the shit I said before, I'm on your podcast here talking to you. Where am I going to be in 5 years? Like, fucking right here, man. Like, awesome. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's a hard one. So it is hard.
What about you?
Me, mate, 5 years, I'll be mid-50s. I'll be 55. Like, for me, my life's going through a change. Like, you know, I've just come out of a long-term relationship.
Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, we're still good friends, and that's a credit to both of us. Like, so, you know, I've been spending my time between Gold Coast and here. You know, I'm going to open up a small shop up there, and, you know, I want to tattoo here 3 days a week.
It's good that you can say that now, because I think last time we spoke, you weren't really able to say that.
Yeah. Now it's, you know, so, and, you know, I've got a lease on a shop there. Cool. Fitting out. I love building things like this place. I love all this crazy stuff. So now it's exciting for me to, what am I going to do with this space now? I'm just going to start off on my own. I've got clients up there, and see what happens. Nothing will ever be like this. Maybe that's me starting to look towards my retirement plate. My family's up there. My mum's in Southport. My dad's in Brisbane. They're both in their late 70s. I want to spend more time with them. You know, this place is pretty well-oiled machine now. Always going to be hiccups, and that's life. But it's at a point now where I can still do that. I can come down here, do a mad 3 days, sometimes 4, sometimes 5. Hopefully in 5 years' time, I might be doing a week on, a week off. who knows? Hopefully, I can hand this over to someone, or someone can buy into it.
Jimmy, is it?
They can, fingers crossed, he's front runner. And you know, and then gift this, or you know, someone can whatever keep this rolling on for them, and that'll be do good for them and keep the legacy on. Or who knows, the building could get developed. So many uncertainties.
For sure.
But long term, I'm going to end up retiring on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, man.
You know, so that's what I'm aiming for. But I ain't leaving Sydney. I've spent 20 years of my life here. I got the best customers. I got the best crew. So I then get the best of both worlds. Like Sydney for me, 24 hours feels like I've only got 16. I go to the Gold Coast, 24 hours turns into 36. Time slows down. You know,
I fucking love it.
I always start tattooing at 12, 1 or 2 in the afternoon and work till 8 at night. Take my customer out for dinner. If you want to go to the strip club, whatever you want to do, mate, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
I'm still a party boy. I still like living life.
Yeah.
Like to give people an experience. You know, I'm not a nerdy dude to work for. You know, I like to work hard, play hard, all the rest of it. So that'll be my thing up there. I've already got a bunch of customers going, oh, mate, I'll come up there. So awesome.
Yeah.
Just another stage of my life.
Yeah.
And one mad dream would be to buy a factory up there, and because it's affordable compared to Sydney, you know, and I could set up a mad tattoo museum. So many good things I can do up there that are more achievable than here.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's probably my long-term thing. But, you know, my other thing, I just got tattooed on me 502333 because I'm 50 in 2023 and I've been tattooing 33 years.
Right.
My goal will be to get to 50 years tattooing. If I'm still doing pretty good, I'd like to check out when I get to about 80% of my capabilities today. But, you know, to get to 50 years tattooing, I'll be, 67 or something like that. It might just be 2 days a week. It might not be doing sleeves and back pieces. It might be doing bangers.
I mean, but by then, like, you're already, but by then you're this iconic figure that, you know, it doesn't even fucking matter what you tattoo. Like, would you get tattooed by fucking Horiyoshi 3? Of course. Yeah, of course.
But still be involved.
Yeah.
You know, like this new shop up there, I'm like, man, I can sit out the front and just watch the world go by.
Yeah. One thing I want to say, and I
can still help people.
Yeah. I want to say this, and I've been deliberately trying not to say too much shit like this throughout the podcast, but like, man, like what you've created, it's fucking out of control, man. And like, you know, one of the cool things when I won those awards in Sydney, the two judges were Ryan Usher and Alex Rusty.
Amazing.
And you know, for me, like, the key, whatever, it's the Trinity, man. It's yourself and it's those two. Yeah. And it's kind of what's really made, in my opinion, my perception, of course, what has made Sydney known for Japanese, like a proper Japanese city, you know, like, I don't know, I wasn't around back in the day, and you know, but like, oh, where's the best Japanese guys in the world? There's, you know, a solid group of like top tier guys in Australia, you know, and I think that's fucking mad. Like getting those awards from those guys and being here with you is like, this is fucked.
You know, like it's but you know, like I used to work next to Alex Tattoo Dome. Yeah, massive respect and love for those guys. Right, they're doing their thing. I'm doing mine. There's other shops doing their thing as well. But what I love about those guys is what they're now bringing in other people that are benefiting off what they've created. You know, for example, like Jiho went there. You can see what Jiho's doing. Jiho's style has changed since he was here. And I went up and saw him at the convention in the booth. Said, man, I love where your stuff's going. You know, he's now getting his own, like, voice, so to speak. He's, like, turned a corner a little bit. You know, that maybe may not have happened if he had stayed here. Who knows? But
and vice versa. If someone,
they're now expanding their legacy, and you know, as there's enough room for everyone.
I get that. I still don't like it.
You're welcome to it. You're welcome to it. So, but no, it's good. Mate, for me, Louie, this has been awesome. Like, I really appreciate you coming down. All that. I appreciate your energy, your enthusiasm, your excitement, what you're doing. I'm sure there's more conventions for you on the horizon.
Every single one.
Are you going to Iron Gate?
I'm going to be in Europe.
What are you doing in Europe?
I'm just going on a holiday. No, because I've been working 6 days for like years and years. So we're going to 8 countries over the course of a month. So France, Germany, Liechtenstein, Slovenia, Austria. Yeah, a bunch of these random countries, and just family time because I've been sort of a bit.
Are you gonna try and get a tattoo?
Oh yeah. I want to try and get like a tattoo from like random countries. Like I got this one in Myanmar. A bunch of different. So I just want to get one in like Slovenia or like just random places. And
amazing.
But yeah, unfortunately, like I tried to line it up so that I could do. There's a convention in Slovenia, some random guy. Yeah, and I was like, fuck, how much is it? And it's fuck all. It's like €500. I'm like, I want to do it, but then we miss out. And I'm like, oh, can we? And then my missus is like, this is supposed to be a family holiday.
It's good to see, and that there you go. Like you say, you feel like you neglect them, but then this is the payoff.
Yeah, I don't neglect. I pay for fucking everything. So
no, I know, and as you should, Yeah. So all right.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Reece, thank you for having me, man. It's a fucking spin out. This is one of my career highlights. I'm not lying about that, and I'm gonna be buzzing and probably thinking for the next half an hour if I fucked up.
So, mate, you did it well. You can watch this before we send it air, and if you don't like anything, we can beep it out. But no, I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Give me a hug.
Oh, mate, that was unbelievable.
You did well, mate.
No,
Cut.